Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm excited to see everybody on here this morning. I've already had a rough start. We're having some technical difficulties because, technology is wonderful and it all fails at once. So, Matt's going to be on in just a second. He's reconnecting. He's got a new headset, and we're gonna get rolling. But hey, I'm excited about today. It's Tuesday, which means today is life coaching and motivation. And of course, who's better at answering questions about life coaching and motivation than the one and only Matt Maddox? We'll see if we can pop him on screen here. And I'm excited about some questions that we've had. A lot of folks have been asking questions, and we're going to get through some of those. Of course, throughout this entire thing, just like always, this is live, and we appreciate your interaction. So go ahead and type questions into the chat box over there, or also click on the question button down below and submit a question that goes into a queue. We can put it on screen. We can even bring folks on camera to ask a question. If you'd like to do that, let me know. And how are you doing this morning, Matt? Can you hear me okay? Yes, no? I'm not sure that Matt can hear me. Can everybody else hear me okay?
I
I
can hear
think
you.
I'm
Can you
probably.
hear me, my friend?
Yep, I got you.
Good, man. I'm sitting in this, it's called Hastings Cafe. It's in Alexandria. Just chilling out, drinking. I found some amazing tea, man. This is a blueberry, blackberry, raspberry. Of course, it's not syrup because I don't like to drink syrup tea. It's an actual, like, loose leaf tea. It's really good.
Sounds good.
They
Looks
said
like
I'm
an
hard to
interest.
hear.
Yeah, I can turn you up just a little bit. How about now?
Well,
Go ahead.
I'm going to sign off and sign back on just to double check. So I'll be right there in just 1 second.
All right. We're adjusting the audio levels. He's got the new headset. We knew that the background noise would be pretty high in that environment. So, how's everybody doing this morning? It was minus 13 degrees this morning when I took my daughter to school. So I'm looking forward to leaving for Tampa tomorrow afternoon. Although it's only going to be in the 60s, that's nearly 80 degrees warmer than it is here right now. So definitely looking forward to that. By all means, as I said, ask questions. I've got several questions lined up for this morning. That's exactly right, Britton. Minus 13 is pretty harsh, although it's pretty much been that way all winter here. I've got several questions lined up, but I'd love to see your questions, hear your questions. Again, today's topic, like every Tuesday, life coaching and motivation. It's just exciting to have all of you join us here, and the more interaction we get, the more awesome this show is. So please feel free to jump in, ask questions, make comments, and I appreciate everybody's questions and comments throughout all of these episodes. I can't believe, Matt, we're on episode 15 already. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, buddy. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
We did like a 20-minute sound check this morning just to make sure we were ready. But, you know, sometimes Wi Fi is amazing and sometimes it's not.
That's exactly right. Hey, Matt, I'm going to jump right into a question here while everybody's getting warmed up. I was just telling everyone it was minus 13, and so I'm looking forward to being, even though it's only going to be in the 60s in Tampa, that's 80 degrees warmer than here, so that's a definite improvement.
Bet you can't wait.
We're
I
going
can't
to,
wait to get home. Man, I cannot wait to get home. Me being gone 4 nights in a row is unheard of. Like, that just doesn't happen. Literally, like in a year's time, I think I've only been gone 4 nights in a row once. 2 night is my limit usually. Usually I'm never gone from
right.
home 2 nights in a row, but it just so happened to kind of work out this way. You know what I'm saying? But I can't wait to get home. When I get home, I'll see you and Carol, and I'll see Caleb, and I'll see palm trees and the beach.
Well, Thursday we'll get to do this from the same room. That'll be weird. We'll have to figure
Yeah,
that
that'll
out.
be fun. Good to see everybody on here today, man. I appreciate everybody taking time out to be with us. Today's about life coaching and motivation. Mike, I typed some of the questions that came in the chat box, but you feel free to just ask away. I know you've got a list that people email and text as well, so have at it, my
Right.
friend. Good to see you, though.
Well, actually, Hey, it's great to see you too. I'm actually going to start with the first one you typed because it's a great question, and especially this time of year, the first of the year, folks are engaged in becoming a better person, self improvement. First of the year is that kind of thing. And let me ask you this: if someone is interested in becoming a better person, which is a pretty general question, what are some steps that a person can take to just generally become a better person?
Well, I'm going to give you 5 basic steps. First of all, anybody can change. That's the first thing that we have to establish, because what I've met in a lot of people, the last thing you want to become in life is stubborn or bullheaded, and you don't want to allow your ego or your pride keep you from changing, because I honestly believe that anybody can change. But in order to change, you first have to be extremely honest, no self denial about where you are or who you are and what you want to become. I honestly believe that establishing a clear picture in your mind of what you want to be or who you want to be is very important. So what I would do, I'm a list maker, Mike. I literally live by list. I mean, I have hundreds of lists on my iPad, on my journal. So if I wanted to change and become a better person, what I would do is I would literally make a list of all the people that I admire the most, people that I respect, people that I would want to be like, right? Then I would make a second list, and I would literally list on paper or on my iPad, like, what is it about them that I like? Why are they so well liked? Why do I consider them a good person? What are their traits? What are their behaviors, right? So once you get a clear picture of what you want to become and the people that you respect, that most people would consider they're good people, then this is going to kind of help you focus and to start living out these type of traits. One thing you'll find about someone that would be considered a good person is that they are respectful and polite and have good manners. They're kind. They're not rude. They're not selfish. They're friendly to others. They're friendly to people regardless of their status in life. I really believe that you can tell a lot about a person by how they treat little people or unknown people,
Mm,
or what we would consider people that would be not maybe popular or successful. So then
that's
the
good.
second thing I would tell you to do is start associating with good people. Literally, the Bible says, he that walks with wise men shall be wise. Right, Mike? So literally the
That's
principle
right.
there is, if you want wisdom, walk with wise men. If you want to become a better person, then don't associate with people that aren't good people. Hang around with good, high quality people, and that's going to rub off on you. Then on the very practical side, Mike, you got to get the Word of God in you. The Word of God and prayer and living full of the Holy Ghost will make you a better person. If you want to become a good person, live full of the Spirit, because the Bible identifies the fruit of the Spirit, right? And if we
Right.
lived the fruit of the Spirit, everybody would love us. You know, kindness, gentleness, love, patience, meekness. I could go on and on. But so that would be my advice, Mike. And then the last thing I would say, if you do want to become a better person, is make up your mind and don't accept any excuses. I meet a lot of people that say, well, that's just the way I am. If that is the mentality you're going to have, that's just the way I am, then you're accepting it. You don't have to accept anything. You have the power and the ability to literally change if you make up your mind and say, you know what? I'm not going to be selfish anymore. I'm not going to be inconsiderate or harsh or rude. I'm not going to be the type of person that holds grudges. And then here's what's going to happen. It's all about practice, right? So when you find yourself getting into situation, it all starts with the small things. Maybe letting somebody else have the parking space. You know, maybe, for
Mm,
example, if you're on an airplane and you have a nice aisle seat. You see maybe an elderly lady walking towards the back. Go back and get her and say, ma'am, I'd like to give you my seat that's up front. It's a nice, comfortable aisle seat. I'll take your seat. I mean, little things like that go a long ways. You know, you see, maybe see a soldier getting ready to buy his coffee. You know, many times I'll just wave at the cashier and say, you know, and then she'll literally say your coffee's been taken care of. You know, little things like that, my friend. I just think we need to practice
Sure.
more random acts of kindness. That's really what we're doing with Mission 25, is teaching people to actually live a lifestyle of doing good every day. Let it become your
Right.
lifestyle. Look for ways to do good to others. The more you do good to others, the more you're going to feel better. The reason why people aren't good people is because they have bad self-esteem. So what people really need to be working on, Mike, is their self-esteem and their inner wholeness. Jesus said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. You don't love yourself, you're not going to be able to love others. One of the reason why, if you ever see, you know, I used to quote to people, those that deserve love the least need it the most. Usually the jerks,
Mm.
the bad people, it's because they have such low self-esteem. That's why they treat people bad, because they hate themselves. So you really got, if you're going to become a good person, you really got to increase your self-esteem.
Mm. That's good. Hey, I like also what you said of simply identifying traits of people that you see that do things that you admire or do things that you like, those traits that you'd like to have. You know, there's a lot of power in simply identifying that. So if I were to, for example, sit down and make a list of 10 or 15 things that I see in other people, you know, traits that I would like to emulate or try to practice on, what would be your advice for me to sort of internalize that, or you know, it's something I want to look at every day, or what would you do?
Talking about if once you make that list,
Right.
you know what I
Yeah.
would do is, first of all, why don't everybody just start typing in one trait that you've seen in others that you like. Let's see from our audience just some things that
That's
we
good.
would consider would make someone a good person. Okay, there's one: kindness, honesty, genuine,
Right.
honesty, love, blessing your enemies, giving, very good, a good listener. Okay, these are all traits of people constantly loving. You know, Mike, while they keep typing, selflessness, encouraging, trust, generosity, grace, this is good. Mike,
Yeah.
so you're asking, once you've identified the traits that you want in your life, how do you live them
Hmm.
out? How do you keep them in front of you, you're saying?
Right. How do you keep it fresh in your mind so that you know, do you have any tips for that?
I'll show you right now. You want me to show you how I do it? In my
Sure.
iPad, and everybody's got to develop their own system, right? But in my
Hmm.
iPad right here, I literally have this folder, and I'm going to show it to you, that literally says daily must read. Okay. So I have a folder that literally in that folder are lists and things that I feel like I need to read every day. You know what I'm saying? So when I have an
Yeah.
important list, such as I want to change these habits or behaviors in my life, I would put that in my must read folder, and I would literally read it every day, whether it's in the morning, whether I'm, you know, having some quiet time. You know, that would be one way. And then, you know, share it with somebody like your spouse and say, hey, these are some things that I want to start exemplifying in my life. When you see me doing these, you know, maybe let me know, or actually you could say, you know, kind of keep me a little accountable. If you know, let's say you want to be, what, you know, ask your spouse, your kids, or whoever, when I'm not doing this, point it out to me, you know, and take it. It's okay. I appreciate you telling me, you know, that
Yeah.
little practice right there, believe it or not, having somebody hold you accountable is the fastest way to change. We vastly underestimate the power of personal accountability. I think that's the number one reason why more people don't change, Mike, is because they don't make themselves become accountable to somebody. It doesn't happen
That's
by
good.
accident.
Yeah. There's when you ask someone to hold you accountable, when you make it public, in other words, you show it to other people and you sort of
Yeah,
open up
that
your ideals, you make it sort of public, and uh, that increases the pressure on you really to make it happen. I like what you said about reading it every day. Actually, this morning in my devotion and Bible reading in the book of Deuteronomy, I was reading about how the king of Israel was supposed to write out the law and read it every single day, and it would keep him humble and keep him straight and keep him on track. And so it was supposed to be a daily thing. So I like that. Seems like a biblical model to me.
absolutely. I like what Sarah said. She got excited about this and said she's going to do it with her girls and then kind of make it fun and make a craft and put it on the wall. I believe in that. I have my son live by charts and goals and visuals and things like that. Mike, I really believe, even if you're not a list maker by nature, you should become one. Your life could change the day that you start making lists. Like we said earlier, seeing it is powerful. Literally seeing it and
Yeah.
immersing it in your mind of saying, this is what I want to become. I just don't think we make enough list. Okay, so good idea, Sarah. Make it fun, create a craft. Very good stuff.
Right. Yep. And they see you do it, so it's public, holds you accountable. That's a great idea. Um, Hey, let me jump topics just a little bit. We're about halfway through our time together here, and one of the things, especially in today's world, everybody is busy. Everybody has a million things to do. Um, I know personally. You and I both struggle with challenges of schedule. What uh, what is your best sort of time management, schedule management sort of advice for someone that's maybe struggling with, 100 different priorities, a job, ministry, work, family, all those things? What's your time management advice?
Well, I have studied the subject of time management until I can't breathe because I so want to master it because I'm so driven by the fact that we only live one life. I'm so driven by um, how fast it goes. And I'm also fascinated that the most powerful, successful human being on this planet has the same exact 24 hours that I do. He has the same 7 days this week that I do. He has the same 365 days this year that I do. That right there um, motivates me to say, wait a minute, he does not have any more time than I have. So I really have been around a lot of highly successful people, and they are extremely conscious about time. So here's the secret to time management, okay? I'm going to give you some practical things that I do, but let me start with, because this goes to money and weight loss. I honestly believe, Mike, that almost everything in our life starts with the emotion and the mind and the soul, the heart. So, like for me, how I became good at time management is I began by placing an extreme, and I'm talking extreme, value on time. I wished I would have videoed this. Status quo. It's going to shock people when I'm about to confess something I did. In my study of time management, one of the experts said, you have to know what you are worth an hour. So I calculated what I was worth an hour, like what an hour of my time is worth, right? I literally withdrew that amount of cash and I burned it on fire. It was by far probably one of the most painful experiences of my life. You hear me? I want you to listen to me because I hate wasting money. I hate it. There's probably not too many things in life that bother me more than wasting money because money is powerful and I need a lot of it to do what I do. But I tell you another thing I hate is I hate wasting time. That painful lesson. Okay, you ready for this? People say, oh my God, I can't believe you literally just burnt money. Okay? But that's what you're doing when you waste an hour. So the pain of watching that money vanish taught me that when I waste an hour, that's literally what I just did. You know what I'm saying? I know that's extreme, but that's just how I roll in life. I'm motivated by pain and pleasure. It hurts me to lose an hour, my friend. You hear me? Like, it hurts me. I think one of the reasons people are not good at managing time, Mike, is because they don't value time. They don't value it. To me,
Right.
time is beyond greater than gold. So it's like when I would travel, people would say, I can't believe you would charge people to preach. I don't charge people to preach. I preach for free. The only thing I would charge for is my time, because that's something I can never get back. I have this app on my phone that I literally like live by. It's called Days Until, right? It's the name of
Hmm.
the app is literally Days Until. It's my favorite app. Okay, I'm gonna show you. So I literally have I'm 1,421 days until my son's birthday. So think about that, or until my son's 16th birthday. My son will be 18 in 2,151 days. 2,151 days, I will walk into a 18-year-old birthday party of the kid that God has literally entrusted me to raise. So, Mike, I don't waste days. Hear me? Like, for example, I'm very, very focused with my schedule and my calendar. And so, like, if someone has me come speak, they'll be like, hey, stay over and hang out with us on Monday. We'll sightsee. My friend, rarely will I ever do that, because I only get 2,151 days till my son goes off to college. So I'm gonna be 50 in 4,266 days. I mean, I could go on and on. Like, I literally have listed all of these like major events in my life. So to become good at time managing, it has to literally make you sick to your stomach. It makes me sick to my stomach to waste time. And I'm not like OCD about it, but I'm as close as you can get to saying it makes me sick to waste time. And I see so many things that people do on a daily basis, my friend, that
I think we lost you for a second, Matt. Um, I like what Matt's saying. Well, can y'all hear me okay? Are we still good? Sometimes with public Wi-Fi, we have some interruptions. So, yeah, exactly. Somebody's playing World of Warcraft on the server. What's interesting about that is that uh, we a lot of times we'll budget our money, but we won't budget our time. And when it comes to time, they're roughly equivalent. I like the analogy that Matt used of burning money, but at the same time, we're all on a fixed income really when it comes to time. We all have the same amount, and I can get more money, but I can't get more time. And sometimes we'll be very stringent about budgeting our money but not our time. And I like all those things that Matt said. And in fact, I remember that um, maybe some of you have gone through Dave Ramsey's course on money management, Financial Peace University. And one of the things that he says is that spending money is an emotional thing. And I think we need to get to the place where spending time is also an emotional thing, and so that we feel that pain of spending at the same time that we in the same way that we would spend. And so his one of his assertions is, if you use a credit card, you don't really feel the pain, but if you pay cash, you feel the pain. So probably set some constructs up in your life that will help you feel that pain when you waste time or spend time. And as we're as we're waiting for Matt to try to rejoin here on the public Wi-Fi, he's probably Travis. He's probably finding the person that's playing World of Warcraft now. Like, hey, let me have some bandwidth here. I got to finish a show, right? Um, and my wife is shushing me because she doesn't like the B word budget. But hey, it's all good. Um, so one second, some technical things that. All right, so actually in the one of the things that I had an interesting conversation with a young man that I was mentoring at one time, and we were actually talking about video games, and I hate video games. Speaking of World of Warcraft, because and I'm actually a technology guy. You would think that I wouldn't, but I hate the time they waste, because of when I was in high school, man, I'd go to my friend's house and I'd say, hey, let's go fishing, let's go down by the river, let's go hang out, whatever, and they'd be, sitting there in front of the TV with their video game, and they'd be, yeah, just a minute, and uh, yeah, I'm about like you, Travis. It was about it, and so they'd be sitting there. I'm like, come on, let's go. And like, yeah, just a minute, and then they'd finish that level and go, yeah, just a minute, and I'd sit there for an hour, and finally I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go down to the river, I'm going to catch some fish, have some fun, be out in the sun, do whatever. And that kind of stuck with me, and I said, man, my friends are just, they wasted their entire summer. And that was I hate to age myself, but I think that was a Nintendo with Mike Tyson Punch Out, right? So I was talking to this young man, and I said, when you sit there and play video games, to me, the image that I get is you're literally sitting there burning $20 bills, because your time is just going away. I'm like, you could be starting a business, you could be writing a book, you could be improving yourself, you could be, reading self-improvement books, you could be working on things, you could be doing any number of things, and you're just idly wasting time, which is the same to me as wasting money. And so that's my pet peeve. I kind of went off there. I apologize for that. But and we've got I think Matt's reconnecting here. We're going to try to get him back in. Try to read up exactly Karen's number our days, and yeah, we'll cut that out, Julie. And just here's what's terrible about video games. Maybe we'll do an entire thing on that. An entire show on that. Matt, are you back with us?
Sorry about that.
Hopefully.
Sorry about that, my friend. I got booted off by the Wi-Fi of good old Hastings. I'll have a better location.
We were postulating that maybe somebody was playing World of Warcraft on your network and hogged all your bandwidth, but good to see you back.
Very well could have been. So anyway, yeah, I'd like to dive back into the time management question next Tuesday, because
Sure.
I do have a lot of practical pieces of advice on how the practical side of how to actually manage your time better, only from what I've learned.
Good. I took the opportunity to go off on a rant on video games, so it's over now.
Oh yeah, we don't have video games in our house. I don't allow my son to play them. He gets like to play like once a month if he's at a friend's. I'm not gonna let his brain become fried. I mean, I just don't believe in it. I think kids that play video games all the time are not gonna be successful in life. They appear to be lazy, they appear to be dull, they appear to not read books, they appear to not be as physically fit as they should be. And, I think too many parents use video games as a babysitter.
Babysitter, yeah. Awesome. Hey, I see David's question down here. That might be a good question for tomorrow, David. If you can join us, we can take a look at that. Because we're almost out of time here. He's asking about counseling.
Because of the cutout, let's just go to 35 minutes today. We know that we've never done that, but let's go ahead and just close this out right because of the cutout. I don't want to leave anybody hanging. So let's just deal with one last question, and then we'll be back tomorrow at 11 o'clock for the subject of church growth. I might grab somebody from Because of the Times to interview tomorrow.
Hey, that would be fantastic. I'm thinking.
Well, if there's anybody in, I said I should have grabbed somebody today.
It's all good. Well, do you want to grab David's question real quick? It's a little bit tangent, but we've probably got time. So if you want to take a look at it, it's he's been referred. An alcoholic's been referred to him for counseling, and I know we've got just a few minutes. Let me pop it up here. We could, if you want to, we could defer it for tomorrow since it's kind of spiritual. But
Yeah, let me hit that question tomorrow,
okay,
or even maybe next Tuesday. It's a good question. Let me just say this real quick, my friend. Um, Alcoholic for counseling for the second time. Okay, I'm going to give you a book, David, real quick, because this is by far the best book because I've worked a lot with alcoholics, and this is by far the best book I personally have ever read that I really believe every alcoholic in the world needs to read. So I'm going to pull it up real quick. Mike, let's close out today talking a little bit about habits,
sure.
because at the end of the day, it truly all comes down to habits. Um, I'm going to get that book from my friend. Okay, it's called, here you go, Mike. Type it in. It's
Yep.
called The Alcoholism and Addiction Cure. It's by Pax, Prentiss. It is a phenomenal book. It's called The Alcoholism and Addiction Cure. Of course, you know, it's more than just alcohol, but a lot of people that are alcoholics, it's an emotional issue. Anytime you see somebody that has addictions, it comes back to emotional issues. Listen, probably what's going to become my biggest mission in life is to fix people's self esteem. Low self esteem is destroying marriages, parenting, businesses, relationships, health, finances. Low self esteem is literally going to be the cause and literally the cause of almost every addiction that a person has. Somebody with good, healthy esteem, rarely will you ever meet an alcoholic that has a true inner wholeness. The number one reason that people turn to alcohol is because they're not happy. And what we need to do is fix people emotionally. And that's why I'm glad we have a life coaching talk show every Tuesday, because these are the kind of things we're going to be going into. We're going to be going into how to become more emotionally whole and how to increase your self-esteem and confidence and how to heal from your past and, you know, break addictions and, you know, manage your life and get healthy and all this good stuff. So it's going to be fun.
Good. Hey, do you have let's take a couple of minutes then and just talk about just regarding habits. What are, we all want to develop good habits. Sometimes we have bad habits. What are some ways to overcome bad habits?
You ready? Here it
Yeah.
is. Make a list of all of your bad habits, all of them. And if you have to, ask your wife or your husband to help you. Let the people that know you best say, hey, I'm trying to identify my bad habits. What do you see is a bad habit in my life? Like, for example, for me, because of the volume of, my life, my schedule, my commitment to my son, I always stayed behind on returning calls. So much so that it became a bad habit, to be quite honest with you. So you need to identify like your bad habits, right?
Mm-hmm.
So make a list, and then what you need to do is most people try to change too much at once, and that leads to failure. Okay, that leads to discouragement. What I tell people all the time is make a list of all your bad habits, and then identify which one is having the greatest impact on your life. Right. So if you got a habit of, I don't know, whatever bad habit you have, what's affecting your family, your health, your energy, your spirituality, then I would immediately develop a plan to overcome that one bad habit. So what I did, Mike, is I think I ended up with like 15 bad habits last year.
Okay.
And what I did was I worked on one bad habit a month. So think about this for a minute. If we literally focused on fixing one bad habit a month, it doesn't sound like much, but how that compounds by New Year's Eve, you would have literally changed 12 bad habits in your life. I know some people that don't change 12 bad habits in 20 years.
Right.
So my advice to people is
Awesome. Hey, I like what Matt was just saying there, and as Ashton pointed out earlier, it said that it takes 30 days to form or break a habit, and so Matt's plan of taking one habit a month makes total sense, so that you can reform or break those bad habits one at a time, 1 month at a time, and so that makes complete sense. Uh, I'm going to go ahead and probably close the show out here. I'm not sure if Matt's going to join us again right at the end, but I want to thank everybody for being here today. I apologize for the network interruptions, but we enjoyed having you here, and thanks for all the questions and comments. Uh, y'all make this fun, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about church growth, and I'm excited about that topic, of course. So thanks everyone for being here. God bless you all, and we'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time.